I do think Penn State wins this one.
All right, Bill Belichick said the Lions' offense is impossible to stop. This is the greatest defensive mind of all time. I think most agree, right? If not, except for Buddy Ryan in the one window or whatever. If you're game planning against the Lions' offense, how would you try to stop them? Does the Lions' offense have a weakness?
I don't necessarily know that they have a weakness. But if I'm trying to stop them, I'm going to look at a team that can rush the passer with 4. And they've got the ability to defend the run with those 4 as well. And maybe it's, and obviously you're not going to defend the runs with just the 4, but it's the ability to defend with really good linebackers. And the one that I go to is Kansas City. Defensively, with Karlaftis, Jones, that front, they have the ability to stop the run. They have allowed this year only 13 touchdowns. Now, on the positive side for the Lions, they've only allowed 14 touchdowns, but they don't have to blitz to try and apply pressure. Can they do it against this Lions offensive line? Can this offensive line stop that defensive line? That's how the style of defense that you need to try and defeat the Lions.
The other thing Kansas City does that you need to do against a team like Detroit is win pre-snap. You have to have a pressure coming from somewhere they don't anticipate, because Goff, like all quarterbacks, I'm not singling him out, struggle when you have that unexpected pressure. Yeah, I mean, I think the safety has to be big in the run game when you play the Lions, because you know if all else fails, they're going to default to just ground and pound. I think you have to have good run support players. In addition to what you said, John, your front has to be able to win the line of scrimmage in one-on-ones.
You know what? I think the Lions' offense is the best offense in the NFL since probably Peyton Manning's first year in Denver. But I actually think it's better than that, and I would take it all the way back to the 2007 Patriots. And you know what? The blueprint's there. It's the Giants' blueprint from when they upset the undefeated Patriots. You've got to run the ball on the Lions. I think sometimes people give up on running on the Lions, and I know the Lions have a good run defense. So what? You got to do it because you got to reduce possessions, and an efficient offense can slow down the other team's offense. All right, Khalif Raymond is definitely a candidate for the next question, but there are many other candidates. Who is the unsung hero on the Detroit Lions?
This is so tough because we talk a lot about him. I don't know what qualifies as unsung, but I'm going to say Tim Patrick. A couple games in the season, his role got solidified. The offense took a step forward. He's underrated for this offense.
I'm going to, this is a tough one. I'm going to say Jack Fox. Being able to flip the field. I mean, in that game, just this past weekend, 5 punts, he averaged 61 yards a punt. On the season, he is averaging over 52 yards a punt. He's amazing.
All right. Before the season?
I'm not sure.
Herbie Joseph, with the way he's played.
Yeah.
Do you realize right
he's
now
not
she
unsung
must be
anymore.
up.
No. Did you answer?
Hello. Yeah, I must have butt dialed ya. Yes. All right. Love you too. Bye. All right, back on the road. All right, gotta do my Wordle.
You what dialed?
Yeah, it happens every once in a while.
That's true.
All right, time to do my Wordle.
Okay.
Hope I don't fail.
He must have been running all over the field, or is it 70-yard? No. Like, what? I question his toughness. If I was a teammate, that would be shocking to me.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I saw somebody tap out in the NFL.
As a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean,
on a third down?
It's incriminating.
Make up an injury. You can't tell people after the game I was tired. Limp off.
The Denver Broncos are 5-1 in their last 6 games. They currently sit as the 5 seed in the AFC, which is stunning. They traveled to Baltimore
All right.
this week as a 9.5
Did it.
point underdog.
Yeah.
Are we sleeping on
3
the
to 6.
Broncos? Or should Sean
Nice.
Payton get Coach of the Year consideration?
Didn't fail, huh?
No, I don't necessarily know that we're sleeping on him. I am impressed, but I'm not impressed. I think the coach of the year right now would go to Mike Tomlin for what he's been able to do with Justin Fields, really, and Russell Wilson to be 6-2 in that division. Now,
Every time you go for the
they've
bottle.
had a couple of decent wins. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Falcons to start the season. Commanders
My
and
phone
Raiders.
shakes.
Yeah.
Browns, Bengals coming up. Now, Browns, Bengals, you can say maybe that's not. It's a division opponent. We saw what the Browns did in the division. The next 3 games will be very telling for the Steelers. But at this point, it's Mike Tomlin.
Well, and the next 3 games will be telling for the Broncos. They're going to face Baltimore on the road, at Kansas City, and then the first-place Falcons in the South. So far, Denver has not beaten very many good teams. The only notable win is at Tampa Bay. I think their defense has played well. If they were to finish with 10 or more wins, yeah, I think Sean Payton deserves some Coach of the Year consideration.
Consideration, sure.
You have to see it against better teams, you
Yes.
know. I mean, but they haven't. The losses that they have are all to 500 or better teams.
That is the Thursday touchdown. It's 97-1.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ 24-hour traffic center, hey, good Friday morning to you. My ride in this morning, very light traffic volumes. Road conditions are dry, making them safe. Your hiccup comes with the accident you're going to find along westbound I-96 Express at M39. Right shoulder appears to be blocked. And there's a broken down vehicle along northbound 75 at M15. Exit ramp is blocked across that area. And Livonia Public Safety wants you to avoid Stark Road between Plymouth and Schoolcraft. Large industrial fire.
You butt out Greg
Right
Yatuma
now.
once.
Yeah.
A couple of times you butt out Greg Yatuma.
This football season, tune into Custer and Jansen every Monday morning at 9 a.m. to hear TJ Lang break down his past week's Lions game with his insider insights and expert analysis presented by Hollywood Casino in Greektown. It's Mondays with TJ right here on 97.1 The Ticket.
This week in Red Wings hockey brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Defenseman Eric Gustafsson talks about how early season back-to-back games like last weekend prepare the team for adversity down the stretch.
I think it helps a lot. Playing a lot of games in the beginning, a lot of good teams too. It's helping in the long run for sure. And especially when you win games too. It's going to be up and down in the whole season, but if you have a good start, this is going to help a lot.
This week in Red Wings hockey brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers.
When it comes to getting behind a winning team, look no further than your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Whether you're north, south, east, or west, there's a Metro Detroit Chevy dealer in your neighborhood supporting their communities. From their quarterly donation drives to supporting youth sports, they're showing their gratitude while helping to make a difference. And that's why your Metro Detroit
Great.
Chevy dealers are the team that's changing the
Nothing.
game. Put it in Indeed and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
Have you ever considered doing something about your hair loss? Or are worried about time off, results, or pain? Doctors Barry Luther and Aronovitz are the exclusive providers of the Artis Robotic Assist hair transplantation procedure in the greater Detroit area. With the Artis technology and using your own hair, Dr. Allie Berry or Dr. Luther could restore your hair in a minimally invasive procedure, giving you the thickness
See
you
what
want
the
and
first
hairline
job we're
you
going
want.
to.
It requires no stitches and
Yeah.
leaves no linear scalp.
Check that.
It has a quick recovery and results are completely natural. And you don't have to go far. It's right here in Metro Detroit. Call today to find out more and schedule your no-obligation consultation with one of the doctors. They will give you honest recommendations and creatively realistic options to restore your hair. This procedure is called Artis, so give Doctors Barry, Luther, and Aronovitz a call at 586-612-0757 or visit mihairdoc.com. That's 586-612-0757 or mihairdoc.com.
Progressive presents Good News, Bad News, Dumb News, then Great News. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you can save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Get your holidays started with the perfect tree in your perfect style from the Home Depot. Whether you want something that you can assemble in a few clicks, steal the show with over 2,000 color-changing bulbs, or a tree with lights that can be controlled by remote or foot pedal. The Home Depot has it all in our huge assortment of premium trees. Plus, get free delivery on over 2 million items this holiday from the Home Depot. Subject to availability. See homedepot.com/delivery for details.
Save big on your next project at Menards. Insulate your home and start saving on energy costs.
Hold on.
With Corning Pink Foamular Insulation.
Check the
Foamular
iPad.
insulation panels are moisture resistant
Excuse
and rugged
me.
enough to be used anywhere, even underground. Plus,
on
these
my
pink panels are available in many different sizes.
Yep, it's stuck on your seatbelt.
Got it.
And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the things that just will never come out. Every now and then I
Let's see. Woodworth, so that's 2024.
Yeah. 20. What was it?
2024.
2024.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Yep. That's a good one. That's a good option to pick.
Okay.
So the first bite is like fresh raspberries or bacon. And the second bite is
We
like
made a deal.
fresh raspberries
true.
or sauce.
We sure did.
You get the idea. And now get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. Valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Sports betting updates for pivotal games as they happen live. Get the latest on in-game prop bets, DFS, and more. Bet MGM tonight, weeknights 7 till 11 on the Bet 1270 and the Odyssey app.
You're listening to the best of Costa and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
Busy sports night. Dodgers win the World Series. Come back down 5-0. Shout out Yankee errors. The Pistons picked up their first win of the season. And I saw neither of them live. I instead spent my evening at Little Caesars Arena. And John, I've been to a couple Red Wing games this season. Talked about it. Season ticket package. Wife and I, we love hockey, love going to games. I've been to 2 Red Wing games before last night. They lost by 3 goals in both of them. Last night they didn't lose by 3, John. They lost by 4. They're down 3-0 after the opening period, and Red Wing fans were serenading the team with booze once again. And I'm left wondering if it's some sick joke, if it's me, but then I realized this team's just not very good. I don't even know what they're good at this point. I watched them struggle to possess the puck in the offensive zone. I watched them struggle to possess passes in the neutral zone. They're one and done on the few trips they do get offensive. They're the worst team 5-on-5 offensively. And that's not to give them any credit defensively. This team had multiple breakdowns, guys don't back check, and they're down 3-0 immediately last night. They finally rallied back.
Fourth Street.
Get within a goal. Third period coming up. Crowds re-engaged, right?
At the light, turn left onto Lone Pine Road.
Turn the puck over in their own end. Cheapy garbage goal, and then the floodgates would open. I have been to 3 Red Wing games this season as a big, excited Red Wing fan, and I have not finished any of them. I have been forced
In
to leave
2.8
early
miles,
because
turn left onto Corton Road.
Pathetic. And I want to open up the phone lines if people want to vent today. I'm not bringing this up as a radio host. I'm bringing this up as a fan. This is pathetic. And I know people at the game were saying, does Lalone survive the night? People comparing him to Humpty Dumpty sitting on the bench. Listen, there was real talk about it at the end of last season, him not getting the most out of this team. They looked a lot like that team to start this season. But that's also a reflection on Steve Yzerman, who has worked this team all the way up to the salary cap. Freed up a little space with the Mata trade, but you get the point. They've spent the majority of their cap space, and they chose to retain this coach, and this product is lousy. I don't think they do anything well other than lose by a lot of goals when I show up. That's the only thing they're good at, is losing and putting up poor performances with the fans in attendance. John, I don't know where you're at with this hockey team, but I stewed on it last night. I'm still upset this morning. It's one thing to lose. It's a good Winnipeg team. It's another to be embarrassed every single time you take the ice. Even their wins this season, they score a 1 goal on 11 shots, or they get outshot 40-20, and they eke it out, and I'm happy when they win, but we all know this is not a good hockey team, and that's infuriating because of where they were a year ago, because of the task that was given this offseason. Close the gap, finish the deal, progress, move forward, make the playoffs. None of that is happening right now.
Well, Stewie, when I look at this team, and I'm looking at it from a much different perspective than you, because you're there, you're invested, you've made the investment, and from a fan's perspective, I'm looking at it from one that didn't make the investment of going down to the LCA 21 times this season. Looking at it from a perspective of, you turn it on, and yeah, the World Series is on, so I had something else to turn to.
Yep, there was a
But there's
garbage
lot of other things that I would
garbage
go
can
do
on the
after
middle of the
watching
road.
5 minutes of that hockey.
Sure was.
And if you turn it on in the second period, maybe you stay a little bit longer. But what was the one of the things that we talked about last year? The inconsistency from period to period. Not just game to game, but period to period. It was a struggle to put 3 good periods together. And now it's the same thing that you're watching with this Red Wings team. If you turn it on in the first, you're like... And I don't ever want to question effort or their want to. It feels like they're out of rhythm, and it gives the impression that they're just not excited to be there. And so if I get that impression, why am I excited to turn the TV on and stay there to watch that?
And then you throw in the fact that, yeah, I mean, if you make the journey out there, you can't change the channel in the first period when you're down 2-0 5 minutes in. You don't have that luxury. And I'm not someone who likes leaving games early. Like, when I was a kid, I used to think that was stupid. But I've realized, like, you paid the money either way. If it's a bad experience, don't make it...
How many have you stayed all the way to the end
this year?
Yeah.
0. I've been to 3 games, and they've been down 3+ goals in the third period in all of them. I'm like, I got to get up early. This team's not playing well. They're not worth my time. The money's already spent. It's a sunk cost. And I know I'm not the only one, because people are booing this hockey team. This is a good hockey city, and people deserve a better product 6 years into Steve Yzerman.
Yeah, they booed last night at the end of the power play, at the end of the first. Yeah. The puck got out of the zone, but then they didn't continue the boos at the end of the first. I was a little surprised by that. You're not overreacting here. The talking points are Lalonde, right? That's the first thing people are going to, and I think justifiably so. If they continue to play the way they have this season, I think it could happen within a couple weeks. If it doesn't, I think you've got to question why. Because they look like the team that was out there last year, the last 2 months. And the other talking point is always people go to Petrie. Okay, we know he's not very good. But this team has a problem across the board. They look terrible this year. The effort looks poor. The amount of wasted time in between the blue lines, they don't get rushes. They don't puck with
In 1 mile, turn left onto Corton Road.
He missed the net.
Oh, yeah.
And, but it's one and done. And they really look like a broken hockey club with inexperienced defense, and they don't have stars. They've got 3 guys on big contracts, Larkin and Raymond and Sider, and they're B+ performing right now. And now they're up against the cap. It's kind of like, where's this going?
248-539-9797. I can see we've struck a nerve. Struck a chord. We got people on hold. I want to get to these phone calls. But just a little more of my misery, John. You know, last night there were 8 goals scored in the hockey game, okay? And I love the seats we got, right? You know how many of the 8 goals were scored on the side I could get a clear view of and watch? 0. 0 of the goals.
I'm so sorry.
Zeros. And I get it, no one to put ambulance. But I just mean, like, the experience for fans right now, this is terrible. Let's get to the phones. Joe in Livonia, you're on 97.1.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
So I am a current season ticket holder as well, and I have pretty good seats, and I'm a pretty much diehard hockey fan. And I gotta tell you, I left early too last night, Cookies. After that goal got scored with 10 seconds in the third, I said to myself, if another goal gets scored, I'm leaving. I'm beating the rush. I'm going back to Livonia. I got to get up early.
Turn left onto Corton Road.
Jeff Petrie needs to go. He has no heart whatsoever. I think he was a -3 last night. I love Patrick Kane to death. He's a Hockey Hall of Famer, soon to be. I don't see any effort from him.
Turn left onto Ballantrae Road. Then take a slight left turn onto Bryn Mawr Road.
And our goalie situation is probably one of the worst goalie situations in the league. we got to do something. And I honestly,
In 2 miles, turn left onto West 14 Mile Road.
I like Newsy. He's a great guy. I've met him in person 4 or 5 times. But I don't feel like the guys are playing for Newsy. I think they're just going out there. They show up on game night with their Tim Hortons. They go out there, they play, and they go home.
I have the same
I
read
don't feel
you
like
do
it's any hard anymore.
with Newsy the person. And we've had him on the show. I've talked to him at Lions practice off air, yuck it up. He's a good dude, but you're right. If they're not playing for him, if it's stale, if it's flat, if they're floating out there, the problem I have is that doesn't fix the goalie situation. Like Yzerman had to know when he was working with. He's got a couple backup goalies that he's just hoping get hot. And Lions was rough last night. Like you said, after that 4th goal, I was waiting for a 5th goal. I wasn't going to wait for a 6th goal. I mean, it was brutal.
And I've been waiting for 3 years for Billy Russo to do something, and he's in the AHL because he's almost as bad as Moravec. His head's not there. So I don't get it. And now we got another goalie that's in the player assistance program. I wish him the best of luck with what he's dealing with, but our goalie situation is the worst goalie situation in the NHL out of 32 teams.
And I think they're waiting for Kosa, they're waiting for Augustine. They got a couple of elite prospects in the pipeline. Well, I don't want to stunt their development, but in the meantime, you got to do it better than what they've done. You can't band-aid to this degree and expect to have a consistent hockey team night to night when you don't have consistent goaltending night to night.
It feels a lot like the Blashill situation, where yeah, okay, you got a good dude, and he just here for too long. And I know this is what year 3 for Derek Lalonde, but are we approaching just here too long? Good dude.
Because they played hockey like this so much for last year into this year now, the same just laissez-faire, wasted minutes. You know, it's like where'd the period go sometimes? Because what I'm saying, watching this, that the first move is the coach. And other hockey teams do this in this league. My fear is, and it's actually not a fear, I actually feel this way, I don't think that's going to be the fix. It might light a fire for a few games. I question the leadership and the mentality of the hockey players. And this city always blames coaches and GMs and everybody else before its players. The city loves its players.
Yeah.
I really question if there needs to be a shakeup of somewhat high magnitude in that locker room.
248-539-9797. Slow down. Listen, if his name wasn't Steve Yzerman, I do think it would be a hotter seat. He is Steve Yzerman. There is a track record there. But I am not happy with this product on the ice. And judging by the reaction we're seeing on the ticket text and the phones, I think this is sticking out to people. It's early, but I think this is particularly infuriating to hockey fans. 97.
At the next light, turn left.
B71, the ticket. Traffic.
No.
At the light, turn left onto West 14 Mile Road. Then take the first right onto Inkster Road.
Hey, looking at the crash you're going to find along westbound I-96 Express at M39, right shoulder and freeway ramp are blocked thanks to my Portal traffic cameras. I am watching this one play out. Police are on scene. Traffic volumes are still relatively light in the area, but you guys are tapping the brakes as you get closer to that accident. Broken down view.
At the stop sign, turn right onto Inkster Road.
Blocked there, and you'll need to avoid Stark Road between Plymouth and Schoolcraft. Police and fire crews are battling a large industrial fire across that area. Signals are not working well in that stretch. Not sure.
In 6 miles, turn right onto Grand River Street.
With the traffic.
I'm sure nobody will run over the garbage can.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Let's hope nobody will run over it.
Could this be the turning point for the New York Jets? In their most complete game of the season, they
I'm sure it's probably garbage day for it.
For the first time in 32 games, Aaron Rodgers passes for 3 touchdowns, and the defense racks up 8 sacks and 11 extra hits against C.J. Stroud. Could a game that C.J. labeled embarrassing be a springboard for New York? I'm Amy Lawrence.
Are you retired or retiring soon? Do you know how much money you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. These may feel like scary times. Several economists are saying that a recession is imminent. So what do you do? Ancient wisdom says plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have an actionable plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan is executed to take advantage of market gains, but protect you from market losses. We would like to give you a free, no-obligation consultation to help you do all three. We will help you discover your magic number and give you the roadmap to get there. Call now to schedule your free consultation. 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108. 800-508-6108. Don't wait. Call 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
How is it?
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out. If the Wi-Fi's up, let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good? Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with a leader in connectivity. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. When you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile and ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eco bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Law, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-517-9383. That's 800-517-9383. 800-517-9383. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey Detroit fans, Will Birchfield here. Are you tired of your old worn-out deck? It's time to upgrade with TimberTech, the #1 brand in premium decking. Kick off the season with a deck that looks like real wood, but without the maintenance hassle. TimberTech decks will never rot, warp, splinter, or peel. And with industry-leading warranties, rest assured that your deck will perform at the top of its game season after season. Discover why TimberTech is the pride of the decking and railing industry. Order free samples at timbertech.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number Smart Bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition Smart Bed. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say, Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Get all your holiday shopping done in just one stop with early holiday deals at Meijer. Save big this week on gifts for everyone. For the competitive ones on your list, select puzzles and board games are buy two, get one free. Share the sense of the season with Yankee Candle products. Buy one, get one for $1.
so
and for those who believe that bigger is always better, save $200 on
But we made a deal that we gotta be going by Scotch this afternoon.
Meijer holiday gift guide. Available on Meijer.com.
Since we gotta do road trip. Exactly.
Visit Autolaw.com.
That Yeah, we're gonna have to worry about scotch.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassment. It's an absolute embarrassment. You tell me if it's hard or not. That was a dumbass pick. You're listening to the best of Costa and Jensen on 97.1 The Ticket.
The topics today: political science, election night, and the hall pass.
Look,
Lots of politics in there. All right, these are mostly, I think, almost exclusively apolitical, but I'm curious how you will respond. The questions are sent in. If you want to add to the mix, dearjohnjansen@gmail.com. The first one is political science.
Okay.
Dear John, I loathe this time of year. Every 4 years. I'm not an overly political person, and election season really fires people up. Okay. I live in an HOA, and candidate signs are banned in the neighborhood. However, people found a loophole. They're displaying massive flags on their porches, and it's not 1 or 2 homes, it's like 4 of every 5 houses. Not necessarily one candidate, both parties are represented. One night, I lost it. John, I know I was wrong. I went out and stole all of them on my block. I received an email saying that they have proof from a Ring doorbell camera, and there's a meeting this week. Do I fess up? What do I say? John, I know I was wrong. Please help.
Yeah, just fess up. I mean, first of all, don't be dumb. Like, I understand the annoyance of political signs. I don't understand the vitriol that it all creates. I mean, maybe I do now because of the climate that we are currently in politically. But for you to be motivated that much to steal all of the flags, find something better to do with your life, loser.
And you were caught on camera. Yes, confess. Just say, yeah, I did it, and say exactly why. You know what? I was just sick and tired of seeing these. I'm sorry. Here you go. Put them all, give them all back. You know, it's interesting because I do live in an HOA, and we do have not necessarily political signs are banned, but any yard sign is banned.
So like,
so even like a little
graduation.
Yeah.
Emily turns 6, and she can't have a happy birthday in the front yard.
Technically, no. Do people still do it? Sure. Yes, of course. Like if your son plays on the football team, yes, you stick it. I love my library. They stick the sign. Like, yes, people do it, but political signs are not allowed, and you can you can fly any flag you want, though.
Sure.
So I understand this, but you don't go on somebody's property and take down something you don't like. You don't do that.
Generally, you probably have a Ring doorbell or a camera doorbell yourself. Why would you think nobody else does?
Look, I could get how it's obnoxious, and like some people make it their entire personality, but it's still their property.
Yes.
If you have an issue, you probably have to go through the HOA and say, hey, if we don't actually want political signs, should we also vote to make that flags as well? That's the only way he has a way out of this.
Yeah, address that one November 6th.
Yep.
Right.
All right, the next one, election night.
In 1 mile, turn right onto Grand River Street.
Tuesday night, we're doing themed drinks and snacks. It's a group of about 10 people, all of whom are rooting for the same candidate. The issue is my best friend is on the other side of the aisle, and we go at it from time to time with politics. It's part of our dynamic, and we stay good friends. I wouldn't end our friendship over it, but I didn't invite him. Frankly, I don't even want him there. The night will be anxious enough as it is. Well, he found out and is very upset with me. Was I right to leave him out?
This is a tough one. Because you don't want it to be a confrontational party. Somebody's going to be upset. And I don't know. I mean, if you're invested enough to have a watch party.
Who does that?
There's plenty of people.
They
that
do?
Oh, yeah.
Watch party with your buddies? Themed drinks, snacks? Really?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not. I don't know. This seems more of a... It's more extreme. Especially when the College Football Playoff Committee is going to be announcing their playoffs that night. I don't think you're wrong, and I don't necessarily think he's wrong in regards to, like, hey, you're my best friend, and you think that I would come up and be confrontational. Now, if you do think there's a confrontation ensuing, then, hey, this is a party that you wouldn't like anyway.
I mean, I think that you still extend the invite. Most likely you'd be like, well, who's going? You tell him who's going. He's like, think I'll pass on that.
Yeah, and be very clear. All right, there's 11
At the light, turn right onto Grand River Street, then make a U-turn.
mile from you. Do you want to be a part of that and make that offer?
I think you make the offer.
I don't know. You got to protect your peace, right? If you know this person kind of gets off on the political, back and forth, and you don't want that, it's your house, your party. You go, we'll fight about it the next day. It's your house.
It is true. It's your party.
Yeah.
You can invite who you want.
Would you guys
It's
invite
your best
Stoney
friend.
to an election watch party? Seriously, what kind of...
At the stop sign, use the left lane to make a U-turn.
The food being served.
Okay, so which type? An election watch party on Tuesday, an NFL trade deadline party, or a college football release party? Which party would you have if you had to have one? That's not an option.
Okay.
In about 1 mile, turn right onto Woodworth Street.
With NFL trade deadline.
But there's no promise that Brad's going to give you anything to celebrate about. It's going to end up being a pretty sad party.
Well, there'll be no local teams in the college football one. So
Yeah, but if you're on the
true.
wrong side of the aisle and you've got 10 people there for one, it's going to be a sad party.
Yeah. The safest one's probably the college football playoff.
Probably, because it's...
What outrage could you
it's not
possibly
gonna-
have?
It's not final.
Exactly. The last one is Hall Pass. Dear John, my wife and I have been married for 10 years. We have 2 children, both under 10. 5 years ago, I found out that my wife had an affair.
Oh, no.
I was crushed. I was numb. I loved my wife a lot. Her affair partner told me about it when my wife called it off. It lasted a full month, and she felt really guilty. I confronted her. She was remorseful, didn't deny it. Said she'd do anything, follow any reconciliation steps I asked, begged not to break up our family, asked her why she cheated. She gave no excuses and said it was for the thrill. My first reaction was to divorce, but after sitting on it for a week, I decided to stick it out for our family and because I still loved my wife. She was thankful and even told me I had a hall pass I could use whenever I wanted. Over the next year or so, my wife had followed all of the steps necessary, including therapy, getting sober, changing jobs, a bunch of things. I have forgiven my wife, but I can never forget it. Fast forward to today, family's doing great, but I have struck up a friendship with a woman who I met at a bookstore. We have common interests, we really click. John, is it okay to use that hall pass and cash it in?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Let's go back.